Addiction is going to kill you. Addiction is going to kill you. Addiction is going to kill you if you're an addict who can't stop. And an addict who can't stop is an addict who's a dumbass. And an addict who's a dumbass is an addict who keeps using. And an addict who keeps using is an addict who can say shit that's dumb as shit like this. I'll get sober when I'm ready. It won't work unless I'm ready. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. This phrase is a phrase that I think is the worst phrase that somebody can use simply to stall their addiction being what they conquer. I'm not ready. I'll do when I'm ready. You can't help somebody until they're ready. Yeah, that's the dumbest shit I hear. And I hear that all the time in some places, sometimes. I've heard it last night. I heard it out of several people's mouths, two people's mouths, in a room full of addicts that are in recovery. It's not because they're dumb. It's because the statement itself is a statement that I disagree. And I'm sitting there shaking my head while I hear them say that. I say, nah, that's not true. It's not true. People can be forced to get sober. People can have reasons other than themselves to get sober. Do it for yourself. Yeah, do it for yourself, but do it for other people too. It's not wrong. It won't work if you do it for other people. No, it can work if you do it for other people too. You just got to try. And if you fail once trying to do it for somebody else because you don't have it in you to do it for you, then do it for somebody else and try again. There's nothing wrong with trying. It's the trying that's important. It's the trying that's important to do. If you want to be someone who's free of addiction, but you're with somebody who's like, nah, I ain't ready. I ain't ready to put it down because, I don't feel the pull to get sober. Shit isn't bad enough. I haven't hit my rock bottom yet. You don't have to hit your rock bottom. You don't have to be at the bottom. You don't have to do anything that bottoms you out. You don't have to go through all that shit. Saying I ain't ready. Well, I heard a story also too. Someone say, I'm not ready. I went to rehab and I wasn't ready. It just didn't work. It didn't work, and I went right back to using after. Yeah, but you know what worked when you were in rehab? Oh, they said because my family, they threw me into rehab. But you know what worked? They had peace of mind. They had calm. They knew where you were, and they didn't have worry. They cared enough about you to throw you in there, and they had peace. That's what worked. That's what was good. That was worth to try. And that's what's important. With the people that you care about, the people that care about you are the people that can have that peace. If you're not ready, do it for them. You don't know what you put people through as an addict who uses and gets high all the time and then exposes family to that high, exposes family to that life, exposes family to the lie that I want to get sober and give me some money, and then you get high. You don't have to be ready, right? I'm not ready. I don't give a shit if you're not ready. If you're not ready, you're willing enough to walk through the doors and give it a try. That's enough. That's enough. That's a start. It's not a waste of resources. It's not a waste of a try. It's not taking somebody else's bed that's more ready than you. You're not doing something less. Yeah, you may go in there and think it's all a dumb crock of shit, but you may have that moment when you wake up being surrounded. You never know when it's going to stick, when it's going to be right. You may not be ready, but then your head turns, or your mind turns, your heart turns. Anything can happen that can make it so that you stop being an addict forever. What's ready anyways? Nobody knows when they're ready. People are like all the time, I hit rock bottom and I went to rehab. I went to rehab 10 times. I was ready. No, it didn't take. Well, you were ready. Why didn't it take? Well, you went back and you tried again. I'm not ready is a statement that addicts use, that I believe addicts use. One of the main reasons is to keep themselves getting high. It's a rationalization that they don't need to use. It's a rationalization that they use and they abuse in order to stay high. When they say, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Puts them in a position of authority. No, there's no authority in an addict who chooses wrong is true, but when they're sober, they're still there. They're still the people that can choose and make choices that are right. The clarity of life can be with the clarity that they choose and they can hold on to. They can be right about their life and hold on to their life because they're sober enough during their active addiction. Active addiction isn't a nonstop everyday thing unless you're an opiate addict, but even an opiate addict can get well and not get high and out of their mind, where they forget appointments, forget times. You can function as an addict, and that's the worst thing to do, is to function as an addict. To be a functioning addict and share that your functioning life as an addict is something that you can do. You don't need to be ready to go to rehab because you know how to function. And you get used to the stress. You get used to the drama. You get used to all that shit, and you wait to get ready. It's like, no. You got people suffering that care about you, many of you, that are suffering because of you. You have children that cry themselves to sleep, that cry themselves out the blue because they wonder where you are, because you don't answer a phone call, because you don't check in with them. They wonder where you are, whether or not you're dead. You have friends and family that love you. You have people that look out for you, but you don't answer them back. Some of them don't worry. Some of them worry. Some of them know that you're okay because they just know you're in God's hands, maybe. Addicts are tough, and addicts are resilient, and addicts can get through. But they die every single day. The ones that aren't ready. The ones that waited too long to be ready. They die all the time. They die because they weren't ready. They weren't ready to get sober. Now they're dead. So you don't have to wait to be ready. You can go anytime. You just choose to try. Even if you don't want to. Even if you're kicking and screaming. You don't know what changing a choice in a direction of better and a mindset of better, even though you might be absolutely furious at the having to stop being a drug addict and not being able to get high. Yeah, you could walk out, if it's not court order or if it's not somehow, so much pressure that you have to stay under. You can walk out. But when drug addiction is misery, maybe you won't walk out. Maybe you'll stay there an extra day longer than the last time, if there was the last time. You didn't have to be ready. You got sober, and then you stayed sober. And if somebody comes along and goes, yeah, but you relapsed after 2 years. You weren't ready. Say, yeah, you had 2 years of peace. You had 2 years of life, hopefully. You had 2 years of family members and people you loved not worrying about you and not suffering because of you being an active addiction. You go back and try again and get sober until you do it forever. Try that.